Hello y'all, and welcome to my second ever build guide video. This one's another leveling guide, but this one's for the Barbarian, and it's focused on the Thorns Barbarian with some supplemental damage coming from the whirlwind, so it's kind of a hybrid in this leveling build. Yeah, so let me know what you think. Hope you enjoy.
First, let's look at skills. So to start off, you're going to put, I actually put 3 points in this to get this berserking right off the jump. You can get 3 seconds of berserking pretty easily, as long as you're getting critical strikes frequently enough. So 3 points in that, and then max out whirlwind and give yourself enhanced and ferocious to inflict some bleed damage. That's not super important later in the game. But it also helps because you're wanting to bleed everybody, and so you're always hitting everybody with bleed right off the jump. You're not going to put any points, anything in here. You're going to have this unlocked, and you're going to put points into rallying cry, enhanced rally, and tactical rally, and then challenging shout, enhanced challenging shout, and strategic challenging shout. You're also right away going to put outburst and tough as nails. You probably have made it down to here by then, and you're going to want to put points into war cry right away. And then basically until you get down to here, you're going to put points into these passives here or some survivability right here and here. Especially hardcore, this might be more important, but this is also some good survivability with healing from your shout. Shout durations increased, and shout skills cause enemies to do less damage. So this is going to be big, and these are going to be big. This can come later. I actually did this like last, but you get some extra damage boost off of using your basic ability. I'm probably going to be getting rid of this in the final build guide, but for now, it helps because we do cast our basic every once in a while, and pretty frequently because you're using it for mobility and shit too. And then this, for the increased movement speed, it's nice, especially I have a few extra skill points I felt like, so I just put those there. This one for some damage reduction while you're berserking. The goal of this guide, or this build, is to be 100% berserking uptime. It's not really like that with this rendition of the build, but this is the leveling guide. Once I get to the end game, it will be 100% berserking uptime, so that'll be nice. I don't really need this because I'm not damaging anybody with brawling, and fury generation I'm getting from other spots, so I'm not needing any more fury generation from this. We're going to use these 3 to increase some damage, crit chance, and get some DR, some damage reduction, and some increased damage. This is some fortify. I was hoping that this would be enough fortify, but it doesn't seem to be giving me enough fortify. I'm hoping through the Paragon board I can get some more fortify and not have to worry about it, but that's one of the things that I'm fixing with this build, is I don't gain enough fortify yet. It takes about half the dungeon just to get enough fortify to be fortified. Yeah, isn't it? It's called fortified, right? Yeah. To be filled up, whatever it is. And then additional damage reduction and healing when I'm fortified, so that's nice. Yeah, it is when I'm fortified, okay. And then dealing increased damage. I don't cast weapon mastery skills, so I don't need that. But I might be, because I've been contemplating using steel grasp, so stay tuned for that. I might be using that to kind of pull people around a little bit and control them a little bit better. While leveling, I've been using Call of Ancients. It's just nice because it gives you good damage, it gives you some regen, it gives you just overall goodness, so I like that one. And then obviously the Thorns, Barbed Carapace, Thorns, key passive is what I've been focusing on for that. Okay, so that's the skills. Class skills first. So I, as you can see, haven't even done my class quest to unlock my class skill. but I have been leveling up a lot of these, and I was doing a little bit of reading about which ones I think would be the best. You've seen that I haven't used them. You don't need to use them to level up at all. It may help a little bit, but I feel like for the barb specifically, these techniques and stuff are definitely more for the end game when you're really trying to fine-tune your build. That being said, I would say the two most important ones for this build would be two-handed mace, which allows you deal, or first of all, lucky hit up to 10% chance to gain 5 fury when hitting an enemy, double the amount of fury gained while berserking, so 10% chance to gain either 5 or 10 fury for some extra fury regen, and then deal 15% increased critical strike damage while berserking, so you get some extra crit strike chance there. People used to use this inflicting bleeding, but we're inflicting bleeding in other ways. And we also get inflicted bleedings from our thorns, so we don't need to use this. I thought that using pull-on would be nice, lucky hit chance, and increased damage while healthy. So I can't put that one out. I didn't write that one down, but I feel like that one's a good one too. But then this vulnerable damage is what I'm really going to be keying in on. Increase 10% and then another 10% critical strike chance to increase damage to vulnerable enemies, and then a bonus 10% increased critical strike chance against vulnerable enemies. So that's really nice. I think that one's probably the best one. None of these ones are really that nice. But to be honest, feel free to use whatever you want. I feel like it doesn't really matter at this point, especially for leveling. Okay, so with this build, I don't... Shh. Be quiet, bro. With this build, I already have most of my aspects on my gear. I've been saving some of this nicer gear because I wanted to show, before I fully leveled, I, have a 602 instead of a 750 helm there. I have a ring that's 677. This razor plate is not 750 either. So I have some pieces that are not endgame. You can see that I haven't actually switched out the third stat, so there's only 2 stats that are optimal on all of my gear. I haven't changed any of those. I haven't tempered anything. I haven't put gems in anything except my jewelry just to get a little bit more resistances, because you can see my resistances are kind of lacking right now. And especially hardcore, I wanted to make sure that they're up. So I just had to boost them up a little bit while I'm in tier 1. And a lot of that will be enhanced, once I put this upgraded ring on. It's going to go up, 3% for each of them, so that's nice. I can temper and, upgrade a lot of this to get some more resistances, so I'm not worried about it, and it obviously can get better, but this is where we're at right now. With every single piece of gear, because we are hardcore, I am focusing on strength and max life. With every single piece of gear that you see, I have strength and max life on it. And then the third stat is whatever it is. If I got lucky with something good, then I got lucky with something good. Otherwise, like this one's cooldown reduction. Oh, I didn't get strength here. I just got crit strike chance and cooldown reduction. But this is a really good enemy, so I like that. But some of them like damage over time. This one I got lucky with armor. I'm pretty low on armor right now. I've been using incense for that. But for the helmet, I'm using Restless Berserkers, damaging enemies with core skills. Even though I'm doing damage with my whirlwind, even though it's not doing a lot, this is going to help. Has up to 29% chance to extend the duration of berserking by 2 seconds, double it if it's a critical strike. And my whirlwind critically strikes a lot, so my berserking is getting extended a lot. This is an armor that you want to look out for. I haven't found an endgame piece yet, but that's okay. Otherwise, a legendary piece with strength and max life is exactly what I was using up until I found this. And then whatever defensive aspect that you want to put on that helps you, or utility. Dust Devils exceptional gloves. Whirlwind leaves behind Dust Devils that deal damage. The specific one that you really like though is enemies hit by Dust Devils take 20% increased damage from all of your other sources for 3 seconds. So when you hit somebody with their Dust Devils, then they're going to take more from your Thorns, and that's exactly what you want, is more from the Thorns. And then this one, Sticker Thought, gains 600 thorns while channeling, and I'm channeling my whirlwind. I'm just spinning around, running around for 3 seconds, and 3 seconds, or while channeling, and for 3 seconds afterwards. So that's an additional 600 thorns right off the jump, which is really nice. This one is terrible right now. Once it upgrades and gets down to every 3 seconds, it will be better, but whirlwind pulls enemies in, and you'll see every once in a while it works, and it's nice. It pulls people in. But it's way too long right now. I need to get it down to 3 seconds. This one's a big one, and I put it on one of my two-handed weapons to increase the chance, but Thorns damage dealt has a 76% chance to deal damage to all enemies around, and that's huge because it just bombs everybody. 76% of the time it's hitting everybody around you, and that's why this one is nice because it pulls everybody closer. Whirlwind's crit strike chance and crit strike damage are increased by 8% for up to 40, so that's really nice, especially for, where is it, this one, increasing that berserker duration. Rapid, basic skills a little bit faster. While berserking, I gain more thorns, that's why I'm trying to keep that berserk uptime, always. And then these are for my shouts. Once you get these on your rings, you will be able to keep your shouts infinitely, basically, and it will make you pretty much unstoppable. Specifically this one, whenever I cast a shout skill, active cooldown is reduced by 19% per enemy up to 70%. You'll see that that gets my shouts down to exactly when they, how long they last, and then I can keep them up, so basically 100% uptime. And then your shout skills generate primary resource. Another way to keep up that whirlwind going 100% of the time. Eventually, once you don't have any resource concern, this one could change, obviously. And then this one is what I'm using on it right now. You could change this to more offensive if you're playing Eternal, but I'm playing hardcore, so I want to heal a little bit. So when I'm casting a skill, I'm healing for 2% of my life. So that's just nice little healing. That's my skills, or my gear. Heraldric spells. I'm basically using the same thing as what I just showed on my other Necro build, but I'm using Cosmic Anomaly. You'll see it does huge damage. Nebulous Extract for that 10% reduced damage, like I was talking about earlier on hardcore. It's kind of a no-brainer. And I'm using these 3 down here. These 2 are pretty much a no-brainer for me. The Tranquil Stone grants Unstoppable, basically 100% uptime on Unstoppable, which is really nice. And then basically 100% uptime on increased movement by 70%, which is really nice. And then Jagged Bramble, which just increases the damage of my spell has 50% of the time it's going to deal 300% of my Thorns damage. So that's just a huge, my Thorns is huge, so adding Thorns damage to this, it just makes it massive. 44,000, almost 45,000 per detonation, so that's times by 5 then. That's just, you'll see, it's just bombs. The elixirs. When you're leveling, you're going to want to use core stat probably. You won't be able to get this one, but what is this? What am I? Oh, you're going to be wanting to use strength for Barbarian. But for elixirs, sorry, you're going to want to use Iron Barbs first, and then Fortitude second. If you need some extra health, use that, but otherwise Iron Barbs is the way to go for that extra thorns. For incense, you're going to want to use that core stat if you're leveling still, but if you're 60, once you get to 60, and you're kind of working in the tier 1 range, this can be used in tier 1, tier 2 as well, as you're getting your gear for your next build. But Desert Afternoon, no, that's right here. Desert Afternoon, increase your thorns. That one could be used. You could get the max life. You could get the armor, or the resistances and the armor. Any of those will be good. as you're kind of building up your gear in the early game. I'll actually get rid of all my Paragons so you can see how I... Damn, do I really want to do that? Yeah, I do. That's okay. I'll re-level my Paragon. It's gonna be quiet. See this, the fortify does not go up. You can see when I take away my Paragon points, a lot of my damage. Oh, I don't want to fight this guy anymore. Okay, let's back and fight. Alright. Still gotta watch out for stuff on the ground. If you didn't believe in the survivability of this, there you go. Alright, and there is